Black Oni.
Hey guys, this is JBlaze06 here with Black Oni at PAX 2014, and I'm here with Josh. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm in front of the Evolve booth right now. You see this giant statue. It's immaculate, gorgeous, and the lighting is like perfect. I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to ask you a few questions, of course, about the game.
Thank you.
I guess about your experience about being at PAX. Is this your first time at PAX?
No, actually, I've been at every PAX East since the first one. I love it. It's actually like one of my favorite shows. And I'm glad that you got to check out Evolve while you were here. What did you end up playing?
Well, actually, I didn't get a chance to play the game
yet.
I was in the queue. I was trying to get in line the entire time, and like every time I was coming over to get in line, the cap was already full. So I've been really looking forward to this game since the beginning, since I first heard about it.
Good.
So the opportunity to come here and play was just like, oh my God, I got it, but not yet. Hopefully,
we'll have to get you in on it.
Absolutely. So, having not played the game yet, what can you tell me about it without, I guess, spoiling the super secrets about it?
Oh yeah, it's it's a 4 versus 1 cooperative competitive shooter. It pits 4 hunters in a cooperative scenario, class-based scenario, against one giant evolving player-controlled monster. And that's actually like the really big distinction with Evolve, right? Is that the monster, every match plays out kind of like a boss fight, but unlike other bosses that you fought in other games in the past, Evolve, you're fighting a real player. So it's not like you can just learn all the routines and the scripts of how the boss fights. It's going to be unpredictable and different every time.
So what can you tell me about the monsters that you can play as? So I saw earlier in the demo, there was this one monster that evolved into this giant creature that could swipe and like breathe fire and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that was Goliath. So that's the monster that we've revealed so far. The game will have other monsters, and all of them are going to be like very different than Goliath. They have their own unique sets of abilities, their own look and feel, their own theme to them. Goliath's very, very, very unique in that sense. The hunters also, we're going to have different kinds of hunters. So the classes in the game are your assault, damage dealer, medic, healer, support, and trapper, whose job is to corral the monster and trap them down. And then so in each of those classes, we're going to have different hunters that have different abilities and different weapons as well. So like lots of variety, and ultimately it ends up having like no 2 matches ever being the same, which is really refreshing.
Absolutely. And you talked a little bit about how each monster is different. They have a different aesthetic, different moveset.
Yep.
What can you tell me about the way that each monster moves and how they evolve, what it's like controlling them and moving them?
Sure. Well, they're all played kind of from the third-person perspective, so it really opens it up. It gives you really good context into your surroundings. So Goliath is he's a brawler. He's a bruiser. So he's just going to smash and break things. He can breathe fire. He can pick up a giant boulder and hurl it at you, dealing massive damage. He can leap into the air and smash the ground, doing an area of effect knockback damage, and then he also has a charge attack where he can either dash through and knock hunters back, or he can actually use that dash attack, the charge, to get away, to escape. So they have, once you have all of his abilities and you can use it either like offensively or defensively, he ends up having all the tools that he needs at his disposal to actually take on 4 people. So people think like 4v1 that's kind of unbalanced, and it's like no, not really. Not when you're a 30-foot tall monster and you can evolve and get even bigger, right?
Right. So what would you say is your most favorite way to play? Would it be on the hunter side or would it be on the creature side?
Me personally, I like playing as the monster. I like being the guy that is this big epic badass that it takes 4 other people just to try to take me down, but then I end up clutching out the win all by myself. Like that's just such an adrenaline like pumping feeling. I hope you get a chance to try it, because like you get done and you're shaking. You're just like that's crazy. Like
I keep hearing that.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, everybody that leaves, they're all like just smiling, shaking, talking about what happened in the game. It's cool to, especially like at PAX East, the first consumer trade show we've done with Evolve. They like seeing how people are reacting like in the world. Like we know how we react to the game, but we kind of made it, so we're biased. But to see them having the same like visceral reactions is like really rewarding.
And so you mentioned that when you're playing it as developers, it's a biased opinion. So I can understand how difficult it is sometimes to really get a sense of how balanced the game is. So from my understanding, at level 1 as a monster, you're the vulnerable one of the group.
Absolutely.
So once you get to level 2, once you've consumed enough enemies, right?
Yep.
You get to level 2, and now it's more on a level playing field.
Correct.
and then once you get to level 3, you're like the one to be afraid of.
You're
And
the
so-
apex predator all of a sudden.
Exactly. So what was it like trying to find that balance and tweaking all those parameters to try to get the game enjoyable at all levels?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. First, we have like really in-depth and robust telemetry tracking. So we track all sorts of like data and variables about like damage that's happening over time, how much damage you're dealing per minute, per second, things like this. And then we can analyze that and interpret that and figure out like, how tweaking various damage numbers and affects the overall like balance of the game, the overall win rate of the game. And then we also at Turtle Rock have like a development philosophy of just rapid iteration. So we play the game every single night for at least an hour, and a lot of us admittedly play probably for a couple or maybe 3 hours. But so at least an hour every day. Every person in the building plays it, loves it, breathes it, eats it, sleeps it, and then we're able to really easily like feel when something is off, something's wrong. When we've gone the right direction, things are better. When we've gone the wrong direction, things are worse. So it's just constant like feedback on what we're all making that keeps us like really informed into what feels good.
What was behind the decision making to make this multiplayer centric game? What was the inspiration for this game as well?
Yeah, the game actually, one of the studio co-founders, Chris Ashton, he had the idea for Evolve back predating Left 4 Dead. So they ended up having to put the idea on hold, made Left 4 Dead, learned a ton through that experience, and then after that was like, okay, now the technology's ready, the time is ready, there's a great engine that can do the lush open environments that you need for Goliath to hide and sneak around and all those things. So the timing just ended up being right, and this is just a game that like nobody's really like done before, right?
Absolutely.
You kind of saw a glimpse of it in Left 4 Dead, like when the tank battle came up, and you had to like all of a sudden the tank shows up and you're like, oh my god, and it's just chaotic. He jumps in, he could throw a rock as well. But yeah, so like that was such a fun moment. So it's like if you really went deeper with all that, you could make a full game out of it. And here's Evolve.
Absolutely. And when does this game come out?
So Evolve is going to release on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the PC this fall. And pre-orders are open now, and you get the Goliath the monster expansion pack for free, which is going to be our first DLC. Awesome. So if you pre-order it, you're going to get the first DLC monster that we release post-launch. You'll get him for free. You'll also get Goliath's Savage skin. So
very awesome. And in terms of parameters for winning a match in multiplayer, what actually has to happen for, I guess, the standard mode online?
Yeah, so the game's going to ship with multiple different modes, but in Hunt, the one that we're showing here, there's 2 ways you win as monster. 1, you kill all the hunters, or 2, if you get to stage 3 and the game hasn't ended by then, a generator becomes vulnerable on the map. And the monster has to go to that generator and destroy it, and if he does, game over, he wins. The hunters have to defend it, and of course, the hunters, their objective is to kill the monster before he gets to stage 3, because stage 3 is not an easy foe to mess with. So.
And what engine is the game running on?
It's a CryEngine, latest CryEngine.
Very awesome. And do you have any other words for the guys at home watching this video?
Yeah, just make sure you're following us on our social media channels. It's Evolve Game on Twitter and Facebook. The hashtag is #4v1. And yeah, just like this is just remember, this is just the beginning. What we're revealing at PAX, like there's so much more content, so many more hunters, there's more monsters, more levels. We've only shown off 1 level so far, so stick with us through the rest of the year, and we hope to see you online this fall.
Be excited, guys. From what I've already seen of it, it looks amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Thank you so much for your time, man. It's been awesome. And thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I'll catch you later. Game on, and J Blaze out. Yeah.